everyone. It's good to see you. I'm sweating. It's hot. For those that are in California, you're probably like, Maya, it's hotter here. And I believe that. Um, so I just wanted to have a really quick chat with you all. I didn't announce it. I usually announce when I'm going live. But I just wanted to have a quick chat about the Democratic Convention and the post office because DeJoy today did a quick testimony for some of the senators on Capitol Hill, and it was very strange. I will say that. I thought some of the senators did a good job getting some questions in. Let me just first say, I'm not talking about the Republican senators. It's just even ridiculous to have a conversation with how they handled that. It was, they were like very sycophantic. They were telling DeJoy what he wanted to hear. They were all very good about messaging, making sure to say, you're being attacked, that the Democrats are just making this up, that they're being hysterical. Republicans were very good at gaslighting. They were very, very good at gaslighting today. I thought some of the questioning really went well. I thought Jackie Rosen of Nevada did extremely well when she was asking him a few questions. She was able to talk she was able to talk about different communities very well. She talked about Native communities and rural areas, how they're being affected. She talked about veterans and how they're being affected. She talked about seniors and how they're being affected by the postal changes. And so I thought she did a wonderful job. The other Democrats I felt were a little bit shaky with how to discuss this issue with the post office. And part of me does not blame them because they don't have all the information yet, right? One of the senators, I think it was Hassan, said, can you give us internal memos about what's going on at the post office? And DeJoy kind of demurred and said, I don't think so. If any of you have ever been part of a corporation, if any of you have ever been part of a business, then you know that you can, that you keep minutes, and that it would be easy to turn those over to Congress. So I hope that the Democrat Oversight Committee on Monday does much better. Not that I'm blaming Senate Democrats. I think they were just trying to tee up questions for Monday, okay? The second thing I want people to know, and who will probably catch us on the other end because it's Friday and people don't want to think about politics too much on Fridays. I do. I think about them 7 days a week. I want you all to know that even as you might be tuned out for the weekend, and I think that's okay to kind of refresh yourself, that starting back on Monday, you all will need to make phone calls to your representatives. And you should be making calls to your representatives about the post office on the local level, city council person, your state legislatures, the state legislature, those two representatives you have in the state there, and your senators on the federal level. You should be calling them all. We're averagely represented by about 11 people. You should be calling all of them and saying that there is issues with the post office, that you're scared about the post office. I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And while we think by making a tweet or a post about the post office that it's enough, it is not enough. We have to actually make calls. One of the senators today did something very good. And she said, my office received 18,000 phone calls about the post office. So I want to thank those 18,000 people for making those phone calls to the post office. You need to continue to talk to your representatives and let them know that this is urgent. Because of the people that have been calling, this is the reason why DeJoy is, why he had to show up in front of Congress. So please, I hope that you will all continue to make phone calls. Okay. The second thing I was going to say, I'm just going to chat really quickly about the DNC and then give you guys some points to think about for the weekend and what to do on Monday. I thought the DNC was wonderful. I thought they did an excellent job. Um, I don't think they could go back to what they were doing before. It was beautiful to see the landscapes. I've lived in New Mexico. I've lived in Colorado. I've lived in Georgia. I've lived in Florida. I live in New York. It was great to see all the landscapes across America and to show the inclusion, to show the diversity that is America. I thought that was beautiful. I also thought I didn't miss the crowd sounds because I feel like at this time it's a very serious time. And I think with a very serious moment like this, we need to have serious speeches. And we did. I thought the Democrats did very well. I thought Kamala Harris did excellent. I thought Joe Biden did excellent. I thought all of the speeches went well. So, because it's a serious time. And so we don't need cheering and crowd sounds. We need focus. I also wanted to say what I thought was very exciting as well is I thought that I love that I got to see a couple of tweets about Kamala Harris shouting out her Indian aunties. I believe it was called Cheeties. I thought that was wonderful. I was glad to see different communities excited to see a shout out, to see that aspect of inclusion. I think that helps us with voting, right? Because communities are going to feel seen. And I thought that was really wonderful. But I want to say something else. I want to talk about Lucy McBath for a second. Not Lucy McBath. I love Lucy McBath in Georgia, and we need to help her win. I want to talk about Sabrina Fulton. She lost her election in Florida, in Miami, by 331 votes. 331 votes. Okay? Why is that important to know? Because this is what we don't want this fall. She worked very hard. Her team worked very diligently. And the person that she ran against had name recognition like she does, but he also had an infrastructure in place to run that election, okay? So we can't take any vote for granted, obviously. So you know what I want you to all think about this weekend, and when you watch this on the replay, I want you to think about which campaigns you want to make phone calls for. You can't make phone calls for all the campaigns. And I know people keep telling me, I'm so scared, Maya. I'm so scared that we're going to lose this election. I'm so scared that we're not going to do well. And I said, well, I understand that, but I don't want you to be scared about this election. I want you to be active and proactive about this election. And that means making phone calls. And that means volunteering for the campaign. And that means sharing correct information about voting. And I've said this before, if you don't know what that is, you need to follow voting rights advocates and activists and lawyers online. I've said Kristen Clark, Sherilyn Ifill, Perry Grossman, Mark E. Ellis. They're all on Twitter. Follow them and they'll give you the correct information. And then, listen, I know some people are shy. They're like, I don't want to make phone calls. I'm not great at talking to people. Well, you don't have to make phone calls. You can donate what you can. You can text your friends and remind them to check their registration. You can remind them to get their absentee ballots. And I'll say this right now. I'm very sweaty and my hair is all over the place. I'm going to tell you this. So today is Friday, August 21st. So just so you know, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to apply for my New York absentee ballot today, as soon as I get off this. So I want you to know from the time that I apply for it, I'm going to tell you when I receive it, and then I'm going to send it back within the 24 hours of receiving it. I might have to research some of the ballot issues that are on the ballot. By the way, that's the great advantage about voting by ballot. You can research some of the ballot issues. And then when I research the ballot issues, I'm going to send it within 24 hours. I'm going to put it back into the mailbox. I'm going to mail my vote. And then I'm going to give it 7 days. Like DeJoy said, he said it was only take 7 days for us. And I'm going to call the Board of Elections in New York City and say, did you receive my vote? Was it accepted or was it rejected? And if they said it was rejected, I will ask them why, and then I will cure my ballot, which means to correct my ballot, okay? So I want you all to know, as my witnesses here and on the replay, that I will be getting my ballot. I'm going to sign up for it right now. I'm going to have my husband sign up for his ballot right now. I'll let you know how long it takes. Now, next week on Monday, I've been doing this Women's Media Center training, which is awesome. I love it. I'm going to, after the Women's Media Center training, if I'm not too spent, I'm going to do a live stream afterwards to talk about how the DeJoy congressional hearing the oversight committee. And I would love to know your thoughts on that as well. And then I'm going to talk about how do we spring into action about the post office. I will end with this. I was very disappointed with how some of the questions were framed for DeJoy. When he threw out all of that equipment, he didn't really explain why you need to trash a bunch of equipment right away. So I'm hoping that on Monday, I have a feeling some of the House members are going to be badasses about it. I'm hoping that we will find out those answers. Okay, so that was it. That was a quick live stream. I will see you this Monday. Stay safe this weekend. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and rest up because we got a hell of a fight ahead of us. Early voting starts September 18th.